14 Alma Lions Club and Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year Banquet. I know we're having to fight some weather. It's thrown us some curveballs, but we're pushing through and looking to have a great night tonight. To get things kicked off, we want to start the way our Lions Club starts every meeting, is with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would, please stand. Let's face the flag up on the stage. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We'll go ahead and get started through our food line. The way this is going to work is our sponsors will go first. Our sponsors' tables are right up here. Up front, so we'll let the sponsors go first, and then we have ushers set up to the side. They will start going down my left, your right, letting you know the tables that can go. We'll clear out this side, then we'll clear out this side. My right, I'm sorry, you got that draw this year, but hopefully that everything will be smooth this year. So our sponsors, if you'll go ahead at this time, you can get up and exit out where you see Lion QT and John Lott on this side here. Oh yeah, hey, thank you. I'm more worried about eating and praying. Brooks is wondering why he gets to sit on stage. I apologize. Pastor Brooks Haddock's going to do our invocation for us.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you that we can come for a night like this, God, to represent our community. God, the community you've called us to live in and to serve in. It's an honor to be able to see so many people who are instrumental in the ins and outs of this great community, God, and just to know that your grace has flooded this place. God, I pray that you'll just be with us tonight, that you'll be with Miss Ann as she shares with us her heart. And God, I pray that you just bless the food and the ones who have prepared it, and that we just bring honor and glory to your name tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. At this time, we're going to get started moving on through our program. If you're still eating, please go ahead. You got plenty of time. We don't want to rush anybody, but I'm going to ask Miss Teresa Sermons if she'll start heading this way. And while she's coming up on stage, I'd like to recognize a few folks that we have here. Representing U.S. Senator Saxby Chambliss' office, Miss Catherine Murph. From U.S. Senator Johnny Isaacson office, Jared Downs. And from Congressman Jack Kingston's office, Brooke Childers, and she has her mom with her too. We're glad to have all of you here with us tonight. Let's give them a round of applause, please. In the past, we asked that you would stand at this time, please. All right, let's give them a round of applause. Ms. Sermons, if you'll come up, Ms. Sermons is going to introduce to you our star student and star teacher for this year. And for all of we'll have several award recipients. I ask that if you would, please come up on this side of the stage. It seems to be a little tighter on this side, so if you could come up on the stage on this side, it'll make it a little bit less awkward when we pass. So, Ms. Sermons.
Thank you. Good evening. It's such an honor to be with you tonight. Our star student recipient tonight is the daughter of Stacy and Christy Treat. Her grandparents are Donnie Joe and Deline Rigdon and Doyle Treat and Jean Hollis. During her high school journey, our star student has been an active member in the Beta, Spanish, FBLA, Excel, and HOSA clubs. She has won the following honors while a student at Bacon County High School. As a freshman, she won the highest average award for 9th grade literature and composition, early childhood, web page design, and environmental science. As a sophomore, she was awarded the highest average for 10th grade literature and composition, math 2, Physical Science Honors, U.S. History, and Advanced Web Page Design. At the end of her junior year, she received the highest average awards for American Government Economics, Human Growth and Development, Food, Nutrition and Wellness, and she was an Early Childhood Pathway Completer, which is a big deal. Our star student was also selected by her peers as a junior superlative, most likely to succeed, and she was awarded the University of Georgia's Certificate of Merit. As a senior, you can guess by now that we expect many more awards to come her way in May when we have our honors program. Our star student plans to attend South Georgia State College in Douglas and complete her education at South University Pharmacy School in Savannah. Please join with me in congratulating our 2014 star student for Bacon County Schools, Kelsey Treat.
Congratulations.
I just want to start off by saying thank you to Ms. Sermons for all you do for your students. You're a true example of perseverance and such an inspiration. I'd also like to thank the Board of Education members for all your efforts to make sure that our schools have every available resource and opportunity. And I also want to say thank you to the Alma Lions Club for all you do in the community and for this honor tonight. I'm very humbled to be here. Well, for those of you that don't know, as Ms. Sermon says, I'm Kelsey, daughter of Stacy and Christy Treat, and my grandparents are Donnie, Joe, and Delane Rigdon, and Doyle, and the late Jean Hollis. I was asked to talk about myself and my future plans for a few minutes, which is hard to do. I'd rather talk about somebody else than myself. I've never been the type to seek out the spotlight. I was always this skittish and shy type growing up, and I've always been more likely to hide in the shadow instead. In fact, it's always been an inside joke by those close to me that I'm my mama's shadow. That's true because when I was younger, I was more the duck and cover type, scared of everything and always avoiding any type of situation that was new to me. I also always had a hard time in social situations. Interacting with other kids was always awkward for me. Social anxiety disorders, what I was told it's called. I always managed to make good grades, but anxiety was a real issue. But because of the support and encouragement from my family, friends, teachers, and most of all God, I've made it to my senior year, and though I still battle with anxiety, I find myself stronger all the time because of the support of others. And now it's time to put all the long-awaited plans of my post-graduation into action. I figured since core classes can be done most anywhere, there's no better place to be than close to home, and my mama's shadow, of course. So I plan to start my career path at South Georgia State College to pursue an associate degree of science. Afterwards, when I've met all the pre-acceptance standards, I hope to get into either South University in Savannah or the University of Georgia to pursue a Doctor of Pharmacy degree. My ultimate goal would be then to return to my hometown, good old Alma, to either join a team of pharmacists or open my own pharmacy practice. I'm amazed to find myself in the position of pursuing such a big goal when that scared little kid I used to be would have ran and hid. But again, the credit goes to those who have believed in me and encouraged me along the way. Not only my parents that provided such a stable and living foundation, but my grandparents who have always been so involved. My nanny, she never slacks on giving such sweet compliments and encouragement. And though I'm shy, my papa certainly isn't, and he's never faltered to show evidence of his unapologetic pride in me and all his grandkids. And anyone who goes around him can probably attest to that fact. It's such a sweet blessing. I also appreciate the guidance from all of my family and school faculty, and I wish I could thank every person individually. One teacher, though, that will always stand out in my memory as being so supportive and kind would be Mr. Charlie Powell, my star teacher. I remember walking into my 10th grade U.S. History honors class with that all too familiar nervous feeling of starting something new, But the nerves didn't last long because as soon as Mr. Powell's genuine, humble smile hits your path of view, he has a way of making his students feel at ease. In such a busy, everyone out for themselves kind of society we seem to live in today, it's a welcome comfort to be able to connect with people and feel even a small sense of validation. Mr. Powell has a unique gift of being able to connect with his students as individuals and make them feel important. It's not just his kind nature that sets him apart, but in his classes, he gives students the impression that their ideas, thoughts, and opinions matter as much as his own. He is an open book, always willing to pull pages from his own life stories or thoughts to bring into his teaching and bring his teaching to life. In his classes, acceptance is abundant and intimidation or favoritism is absent. He makes his class a fun place to be. Yes, he does do lectures. It's a necessary element, but he always seems to hunt ways to pull away from those mundane teaching tactics. It may be that he is telling a story or a joke or showing video clips of current study materials to give break from lecture time. Or it may even be that if one walks by his classroom, the sounds of cheerful chaos can be heard, but that's just the laughter from a friendly game of Double Jeopardy test review. Students love competition. Acting out skits to guess the amendment in Mr. Powell's American Government and Economics class was also always a hit. Of course, I preferred watching the others perform rather than having to do it myself. Mr. Powell always had clever ways of using current events in the news and relating it to whatever our current study material was to help give you a better picture and open your understanding. If you did find yourself confused or needing help, there was never a need for hesitation about approaching him for help because he doesn't make students feel inadequate, but would gladly offer whatever help or advice he thought best. I chose Mr. Powell as star teacher for all these mentioned things: his kindness, his ability to interact with the students, and his fun, interesting approaches to his teaching. But the thing that stands out the most about him is his compassion. He has the tendency to look out for people and make every effort to ensure no one gets excluded. He clearly wears his heart on his sleeve, and to me that's the best quality in a teacher or any profession. Actually, it's the best quality in any person overall. Without the right amount of compassion, any action or profession would be in vain. But with Mr. Powell, his heart is as big and kind as his smile. Thank you, Mr. Powell, for all of your efforts. They have more effect than you know.
I don't know if I can live up to what Kelsey just said. I'd like to start by thanking the Lions Club and for recognizing the star student and all the things they do in our community. I would also like to thank Kelsey for choosing me as our star teacher. I stand here today a truly blessed man. I've been blessed with a wonderful childhood, nurturing parents, and 3 loving sisters. God blessed me with a beautiful wife who's a wonderful mother to our 2 healthy children, a little girl who's got the voice of an angel, and a handsome little fella that is rough as a cob. Heck, I've even been blessed with good in-laws. I don't know where they're at. The wave. God also blessed me with a student named Kelsey Treat, who's made my job so much more enjoyable. I remember Kelsey in United States history when she did a presentation. I sat in the back of the room, with a scoring sheet in one hand and a timer in the other. Then she started, and immediately you could see the time and effort that had gone into the presentation. All points were explained perfectly. It was the best student presentation I'd ever heard in my 17 years of teaching. The way she performed that presentation, it pretty much sums up what you could expect from Kelsey in every class, every day. And it was perfection. And when she finished presenting, I remember feeling sorry for the next guy that had to go. I said, boy, that is a tough act to follow. And life's funny, now I have to follow that act myself. When I found out that Kelsey had been chosen for star teacher, my first thought was it couldn't have gone to a more deserving young lady. A student who always knew the answer, but never acted boastfully about it in any way. She was such a humble young lady who never complained, never questioned a task, and treated myself and all of her classmates with such kindness. You know, I have to tell this story because she reminds me so much of a former Bacon County High School student. This student also suffered from anxiety, test anxiety, as a youngster. And going in to the 9th grade, she was told, because of your test scores, probably can't stand up to the rigor of college prep classes. So, the student's dad went to the guidance office and said, let's just give her a try. 4 years later, with the help of hard work and determination, this student graduated in the top 5 of her class. This student went on to college and excelled, where she was later accepted at the Medical College of Georgia. Just like Kelsey does every day, this student rolled up her sleeves and got after it. The years of school went by with 12 to 14-hour days of class, studying, locking themselves in a room with a stack of textbooks, doing whatever it takes to be successful. Then at graduation from medical school, this student was chosen by their professors, mentors, and fellow classmates as Student of the Year. Just like Kelsey, this student accepted this honor humbly with kindness. You know, the person from this story holds a special place in my heart because she's actually here tonight. And she's sitting between a little girl with the voice of an angel and a little boy that's rough as a cob. I know, now I know that Kelsey Treat will be successful at whatever she tries. Our star student is thankful, humble, and determined young lady, and who isn't afraid of rolling up her sleeves and getting the job done. Congratulations, Kelsey. I am proud of you, and I'm proud for you. Thank you.
At this time, John, well, let me make one more announcement. Kelsey will be receiving a scholarship from the Alma Lions Club at the year-end honors night for the high school. So, congratulations there. This time, I'll turn it over to John Lott, that's going to introduce our speaker.
Dan, you took it away from me. It was supposed to be good evening. I'm Sid Breen. Well, I wish I was Sid Breen. And I wish Sid Breen was here. Sid was supposed to be our speaker tonight, but Sid made the mistake of living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And due to the weather, all of the flights were canceled and he was unable to make it. Sid, Nick Overstreet, Brandon Sellers, and Dan Taylor made a huge effort to get alternate flights out of Pittsburgh or Cleveland or wherever that didn't go through Atlanta. But as everybody knows, the whole world changes planes in Atlanta, and that just wasn't possible. They even looked at the possibility of a private aircraft, but because of the weather, that was prevented as well. We really appreciate all the hard work that they did to try, but in the end, I guess we found out that the governor of Georgia, the city manager, or even the police chief can't control the weather. So here you are at what we think is one of the premier events in the community in Bacon County, and the speaker can't come. What do? Well, the first thing you do is you do everything possible that you can to get the speaker here. I've already told you about the efforts to do that, and again, we appreciate that. Then you agonize about whether should we postpone the event and figure out how to let everybody we know that we sold a ticket to that there's not going to be an event and that they don't need to show up. Do we ask the caterer to discard food that he's prepared just for our event? Do we try and make sure that the people that are being honored have people from out of town that are coming in so we can get in touch with them and tell them not to come? And then after that, do you try and find a date that doesn't conflict with all the other things that's going on in the community? Well, after you've done all those things and decided that that's probably not going to work, then you take the theme of every sports and entertainment movie that Hollywood has ever made. Picture this. Small town in South Georgia, a community we'll just call Alma. Big event, honoring local people, great honorees, great food, great venue, everything's good. There's a sellout crowd. Everybody's excited. The cream of Alma society is here. But something happens. The star breaks their leg, they lose their voice, they run off with their lover, or any other sequence of events you can come up with that leaves the star unable to perform. Well, what happens now? Well, you know what happens. Off the bench comes the first-year quarterback, the understudy that's been sitting in the wings all this year, the street kid with great talent but no formal training. It's time for them to step up. And what do they do? Well, you know what they do. They win the big game. They play the role better than the star ever thought about. They win the dance contest, and the lights fade, and we're all thrilled with the outcome. So that's what you do. So I'm telling you up front that that's what you're going to see tonight. When our speaker gets through, you're going to say, Sid who? So, with that, who's our speaker? Well, our speaker is Ann Wiles. Born in Hazelhurst, Georgia, married to her high school sweetheart, Albert Wiles. She's got 3 children, 7 grandchildren, has a new grandson on the way, taught school 17 years, 4-H agent for 14 years, retired in June of 2012. Opened the Blueberry Barn in Alma on October the 1st, 2013. Teaches 4th and 5th grade Sunday school at First Baptist, teaches 3rd and 5th grades in Awana, and serves on the Georgia Blueberry Festival Committee and is office assistant for the Georgia Blueberry Growers Association. And she's also one of the most dynamic, energetic, and motivating people I know. So I want y'all to all help me welcome Ann Wiles, who is going to knock it out of the park.
Get a smile now, Laura, because I'll be crying before it's over. It's good to see you, too, by the way. Yeah. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that Sid Bream is not here, because I had an amazing introductory speech just for him. But the weather didn't cooperate. And if you don't feel like you get your money's worth tonight, then I suggest you see a Lions Club member or your local weatherman, okay? Really and truly, the fact is, they didn't really need a speaker tonight, did they? Because, it's not about Sid Bream. It sure isn't about me. No, tonight is a night for the community to get together, to fellowship, eat a good meal, and honor some of the people and the businesses in Alma and Bacon County that have done something special to make this the great place to live and work that it is. So I congratulate you, Kelsey Treat. What a proud moment for your parents, your teachers, this community. Oh, to see a young person achieve what you've done, to reach such a high goal. Oh, and this is just your beginning. And Charlie Powell, thanks for making an impact on Kelsey's life as well as countless others that may never receive a reward, but have been influenced by your love of teaching and of young people. Thank you. You know, this week, if you looked at the newspaper, it was chock full of accomplishments. Did you see that? I mean, I was thrilled to see the 4-H winners on the front page in color. Wow. And the Boy Scouts receiving merit badges. That hadn't been done in quite a while. There was the spelling bee winner. There was a senior adult volunteer of the quarter. Even a first place swimmer. And then we had one of the OTC gold finalists. Wow. I'm telling you, it excites me to see our young people growing into the leaders of the future. I taught this kid. Oh, and look at him now. And to see our adults serving others in the community, I'm telling you, Bacon County is a great place to live and work. And tonight we are honoring that human spirit that makes this a great place to raise a family and serve God and help our fellow man. You know, I can remember sitting right over there just a couple of years ago and never in a million years expecting my name to be called. But I can tell you, it was one of the highlights of my life and a memory that I will never forget. For our winners tonight, your achievements are being honored. As a community, we have come together to recognize and to celebrate the choices and many times the sacrifices that you have made. But I believe that what should make you the most proud is not the actual honor itself, but what you have done to have been selected for that honor. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the reward of a thing well done is to have done it. Any recognition is just the icing on the cake, not to be expected, but definitely to be enjoyed. Someone has said, we could accomplish so much more if nobody cared who got the credit. You know, I truly believe that. And as citizens of Bacon County, I would say, let that be our motto. I love watching the Olympics and hearing about the lives of the athletes. And I was so excited the other night when Shaun White had a chance to win his 3rd gold medal in the halfpipe. Well, it didn't happen. It was so disappointing. But I heard them interview him right after that, and he said, you know what? I am still an Olympian. And I'm so glad for all that I've learned and all that I've been through just to make it to the Olympics. Vince Lombardi said, the greatest accomplishment is not never falling, but in rising after you fall. The Citizen of the Year Award is not a contest that you get to enter on January 1, 2013, and then you work on accomplishing certain criteria. And it's not like the Olympics where those young men and women have spent 4 years of hard work and sacrifice to make it on that Olympic team. No, this award is given to someone who has lived their life in such a manner that it has impacted this community in some way. A life that has caused a ripple effect that's been felt by many. However, I would challenge all of us that we can't sit on our laurels, but we must continue to strive towards even higher goals. As I think about the honors we will bestow tonight, I actually thought of 4 areas in which you all have excelled: scholarship, leadership, community service, and character. Now, I didn't choose those at random. They are the core of a fulfilled and fulfilling life. The most important thing for us to remember is that each of these characteristics are the sum of many individual decisions and choices. They embody a positive attitude backed by purpose. And the only way to achieve your God-given purpose is to take small actions every day. And in the end, they all add up. Well, scholarship, to me, is much more than just getting straight A's in school. It is a lifelong love of learning. You know, each time you decide, hey, I want to learn something, the experience is so rewarding that the next time it becomes a little easier. And soon, learning just becomes a habit. There's an old saying, very old saying, that says that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Now, I just don't think that's so. We never stop learning. If we do, we stop growing, we stop trying, we stop living. No, learning is knowledge that, oh, it may be hard to gain, but knowing that you have mastered a difficult subject or a difficult project, it's an awesome reward in itself. And suddenly, the world around you is richer. It's full of learning opportunities. And if you're like me, I bet you would say that experience is a good teacher. Well, I want to give you a personal example of that, of a time when I learned a lot in a short amount of time through experience. As John said, I was born and raised in a huge metropolis, Hazelhurst. And my father was a dentist. I was a city slicker. And I married Albert, a farmer. Now, I didn't know a thing about a farm. I don't think I'd ever even planted a flower. But we hadn't been married too long, and we were putting in tobacco. And my husband says, Ann, the barn is full, and we have a little bit more to put in the barn. How about going to the shelter and get the barn stretchers? And I said, there ain't no such thing as a barn stretcher. Yes, there is. And this man that I love and adore, this man that I have faith in and trust in, he gave me detailed descriptions of a barn stretcher. How long it was, what color it was, and where I'd find it in the shelter. So off I go. And I get down the road a little ways, and I'm thinking, I just don't think that's possible. And I turned around, and the entire barn crew was on their knees, dying, laughing at me. Ooh. Well, a couple of weeks later, my dear sweet husband and I are putting up fence for the hogs. Keep the hogs in. That didn't work. But we're putting up fence. And the fence won't quite reach. And he says, Ann, how about going to the barn and get the fence stretcher? And I laughed. I said, oh, no. I'm not real smart, but I know there's no such thing. I'm not falling for this again. He goes into great detail about what it looks like, how long it is, what color it is, and where I'll find it in the barn. And I said, no, you want it, you go get it. I'm smarter. So off he goes. And he comes back with, guess what? A fence stretcher. Yeah, that was an experience I have not forgotten. Learned a lot. Yeah. Well, leadership is not about being elected or even appointed to an office. The office does not teach you how to be a leader. Leadership is an attitude cultivated over time. Are you one that stands up for what you believe in? Can you face the music, even if that music is unpleasant? Do you have a purpose and follow that purpose to reach your desire? Do you have a vision? You know, Proverbs 9:18 tells us that where there is no vision, the people perish. So how does one become a leader? Well, each decision you make, no matter how small, takes you one step closer. And leaders are workers too. They don't ask others to do something that they wouldn't do themselves. Remember, the goal of a leader is not to get power, but to get your vision and your purpose across. Now, there's a story that goes sometime close to a battlefield. Over 200 years ago, a man in civilian clothes rode past a small group of exhausted, battle-weary soldiers digging an obviously important defensive position. The section leader, making no effort to help, was shouting orders and threatening punishment if the work was not completed within an hour. "Why are you not helping?" the stranger on horseback said. "I am in charge. The men do as I tell them," said the section leader. "Help them yourselves if you feel that strongly about it." Well, to the section leader's surprise, the stranger dismounted and helped the men until the job was finished. And before leaving, the stranger congratulated the men for their work and approached the puzzled section leader. "You should notify top command next time your rank prevents you from supporting your men, and I will provide a more permanent solution," said the stranger. Up close, the section leader now recognized General Washington and also the lesson he had just been taught. You know, I heard a story the other day too, and this reminded me of what leaders and all people really need to do before they jump in to solve a problem. You need to understand a little bit about the problem. One day, there was a little old and very cute couple walked into a local fast food restaurant. The little man went up to the counter and he ordered their food. He brought back to the table one little hamburger, one little small fry, and one soda. Well, he cut the hamburger in half and gave half to his wife, divided the fries, gave her half. He took a sip of the Coke, gave her a cup, she sipped, and gave it back to him. Well, there was a younger man at a nearby table, and he observed all this, and he said, "Oh, I need to do something to help." So he goes over and he offers to buy another dinner. And the old gentleman politely thanked him, but turned the offer down. He said, "You know, my wife and I share everything." So the old man began to eat his food, while his wife sat, not eating. The young man continued to watch, feeling, man, there's just something I got to do. As the old man finished his half of the burger and fries, the old lady still had not started eating. The young man just couldn't take it any longer, and he said, "Ma'am, why aren't you eating?" The old lady looked up, politely said, pointing to her husband, "I'm waiting on the teeth." Did you get it? As a dentist daughter, I really got that. Okay. So before you jump in to solve a problem, make sure you have as much of the detail as you can. John Quincy Adams said this: "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." Now that brings me to community service. Some see community service as a way to be noticed, while others view it as an unfortunate and often inconvenient necessity. And some don't even do it at all. Well, I think true community service is an attitude. It is a way of life. In fact, I wish that we could train our young people that giving back is as much a part of growing up as getting a job. It's so important to find a community where you can live and work, but also one where you can be a part of something a lot bigger and grander than you. A community where you can give your time and talents to making a difference, making an impact, just to improve the quality of life for other people. It should be a way of living, not an extra burden that we bear. If our community is to be better, to be stronger, more productive, then we all have to do our share in giving back. So find a place of service where your talents, your abilities can be most useful. If you love the arts, join the Arts Council or get on the theater board. If you love children, oh my goodness, I bet your church needs some help. If you are a hands-on kind of person, have manual skills, there are classes you could offer on Saturday or do something free for the elderly. If you enjoy the company of elderly people, then by all means help out at the nursing home or at the senior center. There are so many opportunities to use your God-given abilities to help and to serve. And don't do it for the recognition. Do it for the wonderful feeling of joy that you get from helping others, and especially those that can't do anything for you in return. Nelson Henderson has said the true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you never expect to sit. And I can say, because I've seen it, there are a lot of folks in Bacon County that are givers and helpers. When there's a need such as a devastating fire, someone who needs a liver transplant, or somebody just needs food for their stomach, our folks give, and I am so grateful for that. And finally, let's talk about character just a minute. If there is any one thing that is evidenced by your daily choices, it is your character. Thomas Macaulay said the measure of a man's real character is what he would do if he knew he would never be found out. So true. You know, what do you do when nobody's around? Young people, what do you do when you're taking a test and the teacher walks out of the room? What do you do when you see somebody drop a 20 out in the parking lot? What do you do when you're filling out your taxes? And what do you do if somebody gives you a juicy tidbit of gossip? You know, the answer to these questions are the key to your true character. For while being honest and honorable when others are watching is important, being true to yourself is tantamount. And in the end, these private day-to-day decisions will eventually reveal your true character to the world. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Martin Luther King Jr. Your value lies not in status or title, but in the roots of your character and the depth of your compassion. I was 14 years old when I met Albert Wiles. 14. My mama said, "Girl, you're not going to date until you're 16. Well, because of the character and the reputation of his daddy, my mama let him come to church with me on Sunday night, and then he could take me home at 14. That was 47 years ago. We've been married 40 years. And it is still his character that draws me to him. Of course, his good looks are pretty good too, but you know, his character means a lot. All in all, are making the tough choices worth it? Is it worth being a person of scholarship, leadership, service, and character? I think it is. While it'd be easier to slide through life without a purpose, without a code, without hard work, it would not be fulfilling. God has designed each one of us to work, and He has given us special gifts and talents, abilities to carry out His plan in our life. In fact, He's given us everything we need to be the men and women of purpose, on purpose, to change our world. All we have to do is obey. I want to say congratulations to all of the honorees tonight. You are truly the best of the best. And I want to say thank you for making a difference, for changing lives, for serving others, and for making Bacon County a great little town. Enjoy this moment. And remember something that Joe Mitchell Chappell said. And I'm going to close with this. To live well, to laugh often, to love much, to gain the respect of intelligent people, to win the love of little children, to fill one's niche and accomplish one's task, to leave the world better than one finds it, whether by an improved flower, a perfect poem, or another life ennobled. To never lack appreciation of earth's beauty or fail to express it. To always look for the best in others and to give the best one has. To make one's life an inspiration and one's memory a benediction. This is success. Thank you.
You know, she truly is a special speaker because whereas other speakers get a lot of notice, like usually we book speakers months in advance. We gave her less than a couple of days. And we're really, really happy that you were able to step up. We appreciate you. Love you. Thank you again, Miss Ann. At this time, we'll start with our awards. Candace, if you want to start heading this way, and while she's heading this way, I'd like to give a special shout out to our sponsors for tonight's event: F&B South, Alma Telephone Company, Bacon County Hospital and Health System, Jerry Sweat Family, Burt CPAs, Richmond Baking, Country Financial Insurance, the Wheeler Agency, Rockingham Pecans, and Alma Exchange Bank and Trust. We appreciate you guys for being our sponsors tonight and helping make this event possible.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me? I was soft-spoken, I was told earlier. Kind of getting harder now to find information on some people when you really need it. So mine's going to be short and sweet tonight because I didn't want to give it away. This company has been in business for about 13 years and has customers in Bacon County and several surrounding counties in South Georgia. They have 16 full-time employees and have about 139 part-time employees. From growing to packing and shipping, they are committed to the highest quality of products and service to their customers. They are a packing facility and IQF facility as well, and they have value added to their products. IQF, I had to look that up, but it increases the value of their product, and I think they do a great job at it. I am happy to present this 2013 Industry of the Year Award to Alma Pack.
Thank you very much. Unlike the rest, I only have a couple of minutes here. So on behalf of Alma Pack, I really appreciate this. This is an honor to receive this award from our employees and members and growers that have made us successful. From all of us, we really thank you for this award. I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with me during the blueberry season as we work 7 days a week, and it gets pretty hectic at times. Thank y'all very much for this award.
Again, couldn't get much on this business, but I've known them for a long time. They were started around 1982 and has been in operation for about 32 years now. They offer a variety of services depending on the job and size that's work available. There are general contractors and specialties in commercial and industry businesses. They are very well diverse and services to custom homes to large warehouses. Their slogan, and it's going to give you away, BCCI, when quality counts. I am happy to announce the Business of the Year, Bagley Construction. Can I get Miss Linda and her husband to come up, please?
Well, we're extremely surprised and very honored and very thankful. And I see a lot of people we work for all over the room, and we greatly appreciate everything that our community does. And especially thank my employees. Without them, we couldn't be here. And again, we're very thankful.
Thank y'all.
Congratulations to Bagley Construction and to Alma Pack for being this year's Industry of the Year and Business of the Year. You can see the list on the inside of your program there. We got some really good businesses from Bacon County that's been recognized over the years, and so it's really good to know that we live in a community that, with just like all these Citizen of the Years and these Business of the Years, we got a good group of folks that we live around, and it makes you proud to live in Alma and Bacon County. At this time, we come to the part of the program to naming our Citizen of the Year. And I'm going to read this because, as you can tell, I tend to mess up, and I still can't promise you I won't mess it up. So I'll do my best. The Alma Lions Club is very proud of this program and what it's become to our community. There's a lot of effort that goes into putting on this event, and as the president of the Alma Lions Club, I'd like to thank those members that have worked really hard all year round. There's a committee that's made up of several Lions Club members. I won't start naming them off just simply because I'm sure I'll leave somebody out. But it's a whole club event. Everyone chips in at some point, whether it's nailing down a speaker, setting up tables, cleaning up these tables, inviting folks, selling tables. And I want to thank all of our Lions Club members for making this such a success. I also want to thank our sponsors. I named those earlier. You'll see them behind me on this banner. You really do help make this a very special event, and we thank you for stepping up year in and year out. Most importantly, I'd like to thank the community. Without your support, this program would not nearly be as successful as it has been. You may or may not know that one of the roles or the role of club president comes with many jobs when it comes to this event. It's appointing committees, coordinating plans, making sure members do their jobs, making sure decisions get made along the way. Once the recipient is determined, the president has to notify as many people as necessary to ensure the recipient is here while trying not to let the cat out of the bag. Then comes the real hard part. The president has to come up with an introduction of the honoree while trying to hold off to the very last minute to say the name of the honoree. During the introduction, we try to interject some clue that might start you guessing who this honoree is. We feel this adds a little suspense to make the event a little more enjoyable. As you are very aware, the weather we and the entire country, for that matter, have experienced over the last month or so has been somewhat extreme. And we're sorry that the weather's made it impossible for our guest speaker to be here, but we so are glad that Miss Ann stepped up to bring us a very good speech. Sid's an excellent speaker, and we'll try to have him in the future to get him at this event. And as we turn to the weekend, the forecast is for sunshine, and that'll improve the weather, hopefully, making us feel just a little bit better. What I'm about to say may be a little corny, but our honoree is just that. She, which is the first clue, has been and continues to be a ray of sunshine to all she comes in contact with. The secret committee that has the most difficult responsibility of selecting a recipient each year has many methods to go through in evaluating candidates. Many times it's clear to everyone why a person was named, and quite frankly, sometimes some folks can't understand at all why a person was named. The committee works with the facts presented to them, and from that, I think does an outstanding job. One of the biggest dilemmas a committee faces is narrowing down the selection to one specific project, or do we narrow it down to one specific project, or do we look over the lifespan of the person receiving this award? Our honoree tonight fits both of those. She's been a caring and compassionate giver in our community for many years and continues to do so every year, and 2013 was no exception. So let's continue with the introduction. Our honoree tonight started her service to this community in her professional life. She taught in the Bacon County school system until retirement. That should give you another clue. She loved children and went beyond the call of duty, not only educating our children, but also molding their character and taught them to believe in themselves and taught them how to become good citizens. She serves in her church. For many years, she served, well, I'll tell you what, I'll skip this part so I don't give it away. Since retirement, our honoree has filled most of her days and many of her nights serving the needs of her family, friends, and anyone who in need in the community, preparing food for the sick and shut-ins, helping the bereaved in their time of need, driving the elderly back and forth to doctor visits and trips to town, and sitting with folks in the community when they are sick, lonely, or just afraid to be alone. This makes up a typical day in the life of our honoree. For the past 10 years, this person has been a very active member of the auxiliary department at the Bacon County Hospital, known as the Pink Ladies, and was named the group volunteer in 2010. So I can tell by the looks on your faces now that many of you know who our recipient is. So it's without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to announce the Alma Lions Club 2013 Citizen of the Year, Ms. Delama Crosby.
This is a surprise, and I thank everyone for backing me, and especially my family, coming so far to surprise me tonight, because I had no idea. And I hope I can continue to mold many lives in years to come. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Delama. We're glad that a lot of her family and friends are here to be with her tonight. As we adjourn tonight's meeting, a few announcements. We'll ask Ms. Crosby to stay right up here, and family and friends, you can join her. The newspapers want to do some photo ops. Our Business of the Year winners, our Industry of the Year winners, our Star Student and Star Teacher. If when the banquet concludes, if you could come up to the front, we want to make sure you get your photo op so that we can get recognition throughout the community. Congratulations to all of our winners. And I'd like to say thank you for all of those who submitted nominations. We had a lot of really, really good names submitted this year. And it makes you proud to live in Bacon County to know that there's so many people that we're surrounded by. If the person that you submitted a name for didn't win tonight, I encourage you to continue to submit a nomination next year. And if someone crosses your mind as you look around this great community, you think of someone that needs to be recognized, I encourage you, first of next year, send in a name. It feels good to see all the great people in Bacon County that we get to go through and see their accomplishments. So thank you all for being here tonight. I hope you had a great night. We enjoyed having you. You're dismissed.